2026 is proving to be quite the stacked year for games, and I've compiled a list of 6 games I foresee great success for. Let's get into it. Words just cannot describe how excited I was when this game was first revealed earlier this year. I believe it was at Summer Games Fest when the reveal or teaser trailer came out. I'm not sure. I grew up on the original Lego Batman games, and as I've aged, I'm currently 25, just turned 25 yesterday. The technology, the voice acting, the visuals, nearly all aspects of Lego games have vastly improved. Initially, I first bore witness to this change in Lego games when the Star Wars Skywalker Saga Lego game came out. They rebuilt it from the ground up and added dozens of new features and provided a comprehensive look into the Star Wars universe, but also including the famous Lego game humor and lightheartedness that we all have come to know. I'm just delighted to see the very same thing happening with Batman. It's even more of a benefit because the devs are doing the same approach with this game as they did with Star Wars. It will be comprehensive from the time Bruce Wayne trains with the League of Assassins all the way up to his reveal as the Batman and his encounters with the Rogues Gallery and famous villains from the Dark Knight movies like Joker and Bane. All of that will be inside of the game. Me personally, I will most definitely be purchasing the deluxe edition of this game so that I can enjoy the content from the Batman Arkham games as well as other added bonuses set for inclusion. So if you haven't played the Arkham games, you can have access to Arkham Asylum content, to Arkham City content, and then Arkham Knight content. I believe that will include skins, certain vehicles in the Batmobiles, and things that you see in that game that will be included in this game as well. It's a comprehensive Lego Batman game, which is why I'm so excited for it. And Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, this releases on May 29th, 2026, and it's available for pre-order right now.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by... Ah! Who put that there? I could have really hurt myself.
The next game I want to talk about is Blood Message. This game looks insane, man. I can't even lie. I don't know which one I'm more excited for, either this game or the game that I'm going to mention to you guys next. With a setting in China's late Tang Dynasty, this game centers around a father, the likely protagonist, and his son as they seek to deliver a crucial message. As you may assume, throughout the duration of their journey, they will encounter numerous foes and people who seek the message to be rendered undelivered. Based on the gameplay and cutscenes from the reveal trailer, I think it's safe to assume that this is a strong, narrative-driven title that features visceral combat, stealthy gameplay components, and survival mechanics. Now, even after playing games like Black Myth Wukong, there's not much that I know about Chinese culture and history, but the game, aside from revolving around the Tang Dynasty, focuses on the Dunhuang Uprising specifically. It was quite disappointing that I didn't get to see more about this game last week at the awards, but it's okay. It's in development. I signed up for notifications via the online site. Life goes on. One thing I do want to bring attention to is that when I said the game looks insane, that isn't just referring to the combat, but it's referring to the intangible things too. Talk about things like the music. The graphics are nice, but just the facial expressions, you can see that this is clearly a well acted out game. They selected a good cast for this. This is going to be something that a lot of people are going to like, I think. I think this will be critically acclaimed. I'm not sure if this studio that releases this game is a AAA studio, not that it matters anymore, because these indie developers, they're killing it. So nevertheless, this is a day one purchase for me, so I am patiently awaiting the announcement of a release date. Whether this comes out next year or later, I truly believe this will be a Game of the Year candidate for sure, more than likely the winner in my opinion. But to continue, the game I want to speak about next also is Chinese based and has a strong case for the award next year. I don't know what it is, but Eastern developed games in China, Japan, they are killing it right now. I remember there's a new Black Myth game in development. You have Blood Message, and you have the next title, Phantom Blade Zero. Okay, so when I first saw the combat for this game, my initial thought was, what in the actual fuck? The official PlayStation app synopsis of this game reads, S-Game presents, and S-Game is the studio who makes the game. S-Game presents Phantom Blade Zero, a fusion of classic wuxia storytelling and exhilarating action powered by Unreal Engine 5. You play as Soul, a warrior with only 66 days left to live. Fend off assassins, unravel world-ending conspiracies, and defend your values with your life. So already, just from reading that, this game will establish a sense of urgency and anticipation as the gamer progresses through the story, and that is due in large part to the protagonist having a finite amount of time left to live. Based on the game's description, I'd be willing to wager that the central themes of this IP may revolve around premises like identity, integrity, and sheer grit to unravel the secrets of the game's world in order to potentially prolong Soul's life. Personally, I think this game will have more of either a linear or fragmented story progression, but based on the backdrop, the environment, and art style, I would not be surprised to see a Souls-like angle to the delivery of the story. I think NPCs could hold an amount of value to this game that rivals the main character and setting. Either approach to telling the story is fine with me, and this too will be a day one purchase I'll pick up. Pre-orders are not live as of now, but Phantom Blade Zero releases on September 9th, 2026. A Plague Tale features a story about two siblings, Amicia and Hugo, undertaking a harrowing journey throughout 14th century France. Hugo was born with a renowned fictional affliction and predisposition known as the macula, a bloodborne disease characterized by its host utilizing amazing abilities at the cost of their peace of mind, some degree of their sanity, and more often than not, the end of their life. The newly upcoming A Plague Tale entry, releasing in 2026, titled Resonance, is a prequel and features a protagonist that Amicia and Hugo meet in the original A Plague Tale games. The first game is titled A Plague Tale Innocence, and the second is called A Plague Tale Requiem. At the moment, there's not much that we know about the upcoming prequel. The game is set 15 years before the first games, and the protagonist is a woman named Sophia, a young plunderer and explorer. This game is said to have puzzle mechanics, deadly trails in combat. There may also be some survival features to this game, as that is also included in the other games of the franchise. Now, for those of you who have not played the first two games, firstly, bro, what are you doing? And secondly, I wonder how the gameplay for this game will differ from the previous ones. The protagonist is not a carrier for the macula, the bloodborne disease that Hugo has, so it makes me wonder what the world will be like and what direction the story will go into. There's been no announcement of a release date, and this is yet another title that has no gameplay footage or had any mention at the past Game Awards. It is, however, available for wishlisting via the PlayStation app, so your PS5 system will notify you when any updates arise. For the next game, I want to speak about the sequel to the critically acclaimed Lords of the Fallen. And truthfully, aside from a very simple understanding of the first game's lore, there's not much that I know about the first game, other than the fact that Adir, the more or less quote-unquote evil god of the game, has had humanity shackled for millennia, but has been away for quite some time. He is set to make a return, and the gamer plays as the Dark Crusader, or otherwise known as the Lamp Bearer, as you journey through the land of Mornstead to deter his return, or perhaps even facilitate it. And also, due to this game's proximity to being a Souls game, I will do a deep dive on its lore in a separate video or two. The sequel, however, improves upon the first game in every apparent way. At the Game Awards, CI Games, the studio that makes this IP, showcased the gameplay. There's a lot of gore, dismemberment, and new characters coming our way, and I'm all for it. There seems to be a new female protagonist as well, but who she is, I do not know. Based on her appearance in the trailer, I'm positive she's of great importance to the story. Now, one thing that is plainly evident, at least to me, is how much the developers care about their supporters. The first game came out in 2023, and only recently have the developers announced that they are finished releasing huge optimizations and updates for that game, so they can focus solely on this sequel. Their community wanted harder boss fights, so they delivered. They wanted cleaner, more pristine animations, so they provided that. Being a Souls-like game, Lords of the Fallen had no pause menu, and the gamers wanted one. Hearing these critiques, CI developers supplied a pause menu as well. And it's because of that I'm able to be rest assured in this game's success, because the development team behind it is so compassionate. I can't wait to play it, and there's no specific release date, but there's a release window of 2026. Correct me if I'm wrong, but ever since PAX West, which is that event where I think they first showcased footage for this gameplay, people have been complaining of the game's frame rate and performance. I've never tried it, but from what I saw, it could be better, yes, but it didn't look unplayable. Truthfully, I don't mind a small degree of lag as long as it's not frequent. I'm no stickler for frame rate. 30 frames per second is fine with me. I'm just excited and grateful to be able to play Elden Ring portably. I don't own a Steam Deck. I don't have any other handheld console besides the Switch. So for me, this edition of Elden Ring is not only convenient, but something I really look forward to. I was disappointed when they delayed the game to next year, but honestly, that's okay. You either release the game too early and people cry about the performance, or you release it later and they complain about the weight and perceived priority of the game's developmental progress. As a developer, I'd imagine that you can't win either way. I can't wait to play this on my Switch too. Hopefully it's not a game keycard and that the entire game is loaded onto the cartridge. It would be nice to own this physically, but if not, I'll just pick up the Switch 2 version from the Nintendo store and pursue that Ronnie ending for the millionth time. As an honorable mention, I'd like to speak about Tides of Annihilation. Now, I've never played Final Fantasy, but from what I've seen people compare this game to, they say that's what it's reminiscent of. I just think the combat looks incredible. I also like the time period and setting the dev team decided for this particular title. The official summary of the game reads, Tides of Annihilation is a fantasy action-adventure inspired by Arthurian legend. Uncover the mystery of an otherworldly invasion in a shattered modern London, unleashing hordes of enemies, as Gwendolyn fight alongside spectral knights to save your family and piece a broken world back together. The only knowledge I have of Arthurian Arthurian legend comes from Sonic and the Black Knight. I remember notable names like Percival, Lancelot, and others as well. Arthurian legend is Welsh in origin and centers around the medieval exploits of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. It was also disheartening to not see an update about a potential release date for this game at the awards last week, but it's alright. I take the lack of news as a sign that the developers are hard at work. I can only speculate, but I think we'll see this game in late 2026, early 2027 at the absolute latest. We'll see. So the verdict for 2026, it's stacked already. Our wallets are cooked. Also, I'll pray for y'all. I ain't no GTA fan, but I know a lot of y'all are, so hopefully that comes out next year too. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm Harlem, and I'll see you guys in the next one.